If you're watching this video, please do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. You're welcome to United Talks podcast. Today we're going to be, breaking down a whole lot of things. And we're going to be talking about actually reacting to the whole Sancho saga. Jadon Sancho, the saga continues. We had a saga before we signed him in 2021. Now we're having a saga to even let him go. It's all saga. So attack this. The Sancho saga continues. We're going to dive deep into the saga that has dominated the headlines and caused more than just a few headaches at Old Trafford. That's the Jadon Sancho saga. The conundrum of Manchester United, and it kind of started as a dream signing and now has turned into a complex transfer stalemate. I mean, we're talking about a player who had true potential and is still only 25, supposed to have been reaching around his peak but hasn't even scratched the surface of what he can offer. What exactly is going on, and more importantly, what next for Jadon Sancho and Manchester United? Let's unpack it bit by bit, so work with me. Remember 2021? The excitement was very palpable. Manchester United shelled out a massive £73 million for Jadon Sancho, bringing him from Borussia Dortmund. He was hailed as one of Europe's most exciting talents. Played with Erling Haaland, who is smashing it at Man City, an England international, and then the player who would also ignite our attack. At Dortmund, his numbers were incredible: 40 goals and 54 assists in 118 Bundesliga matches. The exception was basically the expectation for him as an exceptional player was sky high. But then things took a sharp turn. In September 2023, the highly publicized fallout with Ten Hag, the then manager of Manchester United, Erik Ten Hag, happened. Sancho was dropped from the squad for the Arsenal game, with Ten Hag citing performances in training. Sancho's public response on social media claiming that the manager was being made a scapegoat escalated the situation. This led to an exclusion from the first team training and 4 months out of competitive football. He eventually returned to Borussia Dortmund on loan in January 2024 and now back at United under new coach Ruben Amorim. He got the infamous bomb squad training separately. So when he came back to Man United, before they could say, as Erik Ten Hag was starting the new season, was sent on loan to Chelsea. And then obviously it just goes to show that he had no future at the club. Now back in the first full season under Ruben Amorim, he's been added to the bomb squad. The public spat wasn't just a disciplinary issue. It severely impacted his professional reputation, making potential buyers wary of his attitude. To think about this, let's be logical about it. Let's think about it and put 2 and 2 together. Jadon Sancho hasn't played under this Ineos regime. Or has he? I don't think he has played under the Ineos. Maybe under Ten Hag. I don't think he has played under this Ineos regime. So they don't even rate him. Right? Now, why is it so incredibly difficult to offload a player of Sancho's caliber? It boils down to a few critical factors. So let's talk about it. Firstly, the financial discrepancy is huge. We bought him for £73 million. His current market value as of May 2025 is a mere €28 million. That's crazy. And roughly £24 million. While United is prepared to take a significant loss, they are still reportedly looking for around twice Juventus's offer of €50 million, aiming for something closer to 25-30 million euros, and even Roma offered and he rejected. We're going to get to that slowly. But the biggest hurdle, his wages. Sancho earns approximately £250,000 per week, and it was reported that he's even earning higher, which could even be around £350,000 with bonuses. Most interested clubs like Roma simply can't afford that, especially without Champions League football. And here is the kicker, because I always bring a kicker every time. Sancho has consistently refused to take a pay cut. He refused to take a pay cut at Chelsea. He has refused to take a pay cut now to go to Roma. He has refused to take a pay cut to go to Besiktas with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He refused to take a pay cut to go to Galatasaray. The list goes on and on. We saw this with Chelsea, who paid £5 million penalty. They would have preferred to pay £5 million penalty. That's the fact that helped them win the Conference League. just to cancel the obligation to make his loan deal permanent because they couldn't agree on personal terms and salary expectations. This clearly shows the market doesn't believe his current performances justifies his wage demands. Now, this isn't just about one player. It's a massive financial burden for Manchester United if we're going to look at it from a broader perspective, right? His high salary directly impacts our financial fair play and profits and profit and sustainability rules compliance. We also need to offload players to generate funds and comply with these rules for the 25-26 season. Every day Sancho remains on the books, his wages accrue, limiting our ability to sign new players like our priority target, as at the time Benjamin Sesko. But now, obviously, we signed him. We missed out on Baleba because we don't have the funds to make those deals successful. It is a detrimental cycle. Secondly, the significant performance and reputation concerns. His on-field output since joining Man United has been a shadow of his Dortmund days. Let's not get started with that. But he scored just 12 goals and provided 6 assists in 83 appearances for Manchester United before Ten Hag's fallout. Guess what? Dan James has better numbers. That's 1 in 7 goal ratio in the Premier League compared to his impressive 1 in 3 at Dortmund. While his loan spells at Dortmund and Chelsea showed flashes of his old self, he even reached the Champions League final with Dortmund and won the Conference League with Chelsea. That's 2 finals in 2 years, but it hasn't been enough to fully rehabilitate, his market appeal. It's not like there was a statement put out by Man United to say, "Oh, Sancho is not for sale," or "Sancho needs to find a new club." Everybody knows Man United is desperate to sell. But the public disciplinary issues also have created a perception of his attitude problems, making him a high-risk acquisition for potential buyers. Hence why they always lowball us when it comes to Jadon Sancho. Now, let's talk about contracts. Sancho signed a 5-year deal with Manchester United on July 1st, 2021, worth around $65 million. Now, his average annual salary is $13 million. Or that 250 million pounds per week we mentioned. Now, his contract runs until June 30, 2026. So he's still got 1 year left with the club's option for a 2027 season. So 5 years plus 1. Now, even during his loan spells, United continued to pay a significant portion of his salary. For instance, in 2024, while on loan, his cash annual was around $7.8 million with an accrued dead cap of $5.2 million. Dortmund paid 4 million euros loan fee, and Chelsea paid £5 million penalty for not making his loan permanent. That's to say that while he was still at Chelsea, we were paying his salary. That is crazy. But it is what it is. This remaining contract duration is a huge strategic dilemma. It gives us a theoretical leverage for a transfer fee, right? But it also means we'll keep paying his massive wages if a sale isn't agreed, or if he decides to run down his contract and become a free agent. The longer this drags on, the more his value depreciates. Now, what about the contract termination? Reports suggest that Sancho and his representatives are demanding at least £4.3 million as a severance package if he leaves. Interestingly, that £5 million penalty fee we receive from Chelsea could potentially cover this severance, allowing us to secure a transfer fee, say around £21 million, reportedly offered by Juventus, which he rejected. It's a tough calculation. Think about all the numbers that we've put here and there. Right, it's a tough calculation. We either continue paying 13 to 18 million pounds annually in wages, or pay 4.3 million pounds now to save potentially much more and free up wage space immediately. It's a cost of exit. This might also be less than the cost of retention. So we need to think about it more deeper and make more calculations and be strategic about what we want to do with regards to Jadon Sancho. So, why has Sancho been stubborn in rejecting offers? It primarily comes down to 2 things. So, I'm going to tell you why he's been rejecting offers, and I'm going to tell you that these are the 2 things as to why he's rejecting offers. First, his unwavering wage demands, which I talked about earlier. This was the explicit reason Chelsea paid that £5 million penalty. Roma couldn't reach £250,000 a week, especially without Champions League football, and Sancho wouldn't budge. So let's think about it. While there were whispers that he might be more flexible with Juventus, their offer is still significantly lower than United's asking price. So there's a conundrum there. His consistent refusal to take a pay cut, even while sidelines suggest a calculated move to maximize his financial earnings. He might be aiming to run down his contract to become a free agent in 26 or 27, allowing him to command a substantial signing on fee from a new club as they save on transfer fee. Yeah. So that's why there's a stumbling block, right? His wages are high. He doesn't want to take a pay cut. He doesn't want to leave. He wants to run down his contract, and he's looking to get a substantial fee if he gets signed on. Whoever is advising him is telling him that he should focus on the money. And if he wants more money, he should have gone to Saudi. But then he wants to eat his cake and have it. And that is stay in Europe, play in Europe's top clubs, and then earn what the likes of Kylian Mbappe earned when they moved to Real Madrid on a free. It's crazy. Second, his career ambitions and preferred destinations. Sancho has stated that he wants to explore other options and is holding out for a project that better matches his ambition. Right? He's definitively rejected a move to Besiktas and won't consider Turkish clubs before September. Despite their extended transfer window and favorable financial laws, Borussia Dortmund is seen as his go-to move and where he's enjoyed his most successful period. However, Dortmund's financial capabilities might limit his ability to afford a permanent transfer fee. His ambitions seemed misaligned, and his current contract or his current market value and his recent performance leading to his persistent stalemate where he rejects viable offers in pursuit of an ideal scenario that may no longer exist for him. So, like I said, number one, his wage demands. Number two, his ambitions and preferred destinations are an issue. And intertwined within that ambitions and preferred destinations is his agents and the people around him that are trying to negotiate a fee that will be a stumbling block to Roma. They don't want to, take a pay cut. They don't want to, go down on their agent fees and stuff. So it's an issue. Now, so what should Manchester United do in this situation? And this is, what we need to think about. What can Man United do in this situation to remedy the situation? The club is under immense pressure to comply with Premier League's profit and sustainability rules, and experts say we need a couple of player sales to avoid breaches. Sancho's situation directly impacts our ability to raise funds for new signings. New head coach Ruben Amorim has made it clear Sancho is surplus to requirement and won't be integrated into the first team. He also said if they don't get a sale, Jason Wilcox is working on it, but if they don't get a sale, they'll potentially be brought back into the team, but not like into the first team. Now he is training separately as part of a bomb squad, and the club wants him out of the environment entirely, not even allowing him to train with the under-23s. Now, this confluence of FFP pressures, the manager's clear stance, the desire to remove a disruptive presence creates an urgent need for a resolution before the transfer deadline. Now, United's current asking price is around £25-30 million, but the market, as shown by Roma's £20 million offer, is valuing him lower. While we initially preferred a permanent exit, a structured loan with an obligation to buy is better than a pure loan as it guarantees a future fee. However, we might still have to subsidize some of his wages. Now, a direct contract termination would mean paying that £4.3 million severance package is a strong consideration. The £5 million penalty from Chelsea could offset this. Some analysts suggest that paying his severance quickly would be worthwhile, would be a worthwhile final penance to immediately remove his wage burden and free up the funds for other transfers. This is a classic cut your losses scenario where a decisive, albeit painful action can prevent greater future liabilities. Finally, the firm handling of Sancho and other players deemed surplus like Marcus Rashford, Alejandro Garnacho, Anthony Taramallasha are a part of a cultural reset, which is very crucial to the club. Reports also indicate that the dressing room atmosphere has significantly improved and is now very good and optimistic since these players were sidelined. This signals that no player is bigger than the club or the manager's vision, fostering a more disciplined and harmonious environment. Now, the Jadon Sancho Saga. It is complex, multi-layered, challenging, and difficult for Manchester United. It is a blend of massive initial investment, take a punt on the player, a dramatic decline in performance. Everybody expected him, but he flopped. He's human, no doubt, but he flopped. A public breakdown in relations and the player's unwavering financial demands. Maybe the jersey was too heavy for him. Who would have thought if we had given him the number 7 jersey, maybe we signed him without Ronaldo being there, he probably would have even flopped even more. Because now they're comparing him to Dan James and Alexis Sanchez. Now, to resolve this, United must be pragmatic. This means accepting a significant financial loss, prioritizing the removal of his substantial wages, and potentially using Chelsea's penalty fee to facilitate a severance package if a suitable permanent transfer doesn't materialize. A decisive resolution is permanent, not just for immediate financial relief and squad planning, but also for reinforcing managerial authority, fostering a positive team culture, and setting a firm precedent for future player conduct. I mean, him being in the club is setting a precedent for players. So we have to let him go so that we don't set that precedent for future player conduct. Now, the path forward requires a pragmatic approach to minimize future liabilities and enable strategic investments in the squad, ultimately strengthening the club's operational integrity and sporting competitiveness. So, what do you guys think? Which option should Man United take? Should Man United wait it out and take the next offer that comes, and should Sancho accept? Or should we give him a severance package of £4 million or 4.3 million pounds? Use the Chelsea severance pay, use the Chelsea money to clear that off, so we take him off the books and save some money. Or what should we do? I mean, what are the two options we can take? Let him go to the next club he chooses, or let him run down his contract, or sever his contract and give him a severance pay so he's off our books. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let's discuss this. And that's all about the whole Sancho saga we can talk about. If any new thing comes, I'll bring it to you. I'll break it down bit by bit as I always do. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United and all things Manchester United. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. We keep growing as a community together. You guys make this happen. That's why I said, if you're watching this video, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.